A remarkably large number of independent third-party and long-shot candidates are vying for the presidency in 2024 in an attempt to take advantage of the public's dissatisfaction and uncertainty around the prospect of a rematch between Republican Donald Trump and Democrat Joe Biden. Members of Congress, a well-known scholar, and the scion of one of the most powerful political dynasties in the county, are among those attempting to forge a fresh route to the White House. They have incredibly long odds. The first president to win without belonging to a party was George Washington. Since Democrats defeated Franklin Pierce in the presidential election of 1856, an incumbent has never lost the nomination of his party. The last time a member of a newly formed party, the Republican Party in Abraham Lincoln's case, won the presidency was in 1860. However, third-party candidates assert that voters are agitated enough to break with history, given how polarized the country is and how uneasy they are about the possibility of another Biden-Trump campaign. In an interview, Green Party nominee for both 2012 and 2016, Jill Stein, stated that this is really fertile ground for independent politics now. There is such a thirst for a politics of principles, a politics of integrity, and for alternatives to the two zombie political parties and individuals that are shoving it down our throats. Every year, unknown candidates with little chance of winning run and occasionally manage to accumulate enough votes to influence the outcome of close races, even when they are not victorious. But there's been a lot of action this fall. The physician and environmental activist Stein declared this month that she will run for president a third time in 2024, changing her mind from her previous plan to sit it out and back Cornel West, a progressive activist and scholar with a devoted left-wing following. Last month, West declared that he was running as an independent instead of under the Green Party's banner. Since her first presidential campaign, Stein claimed that her displeasure with the major parties has been progressively increasing and that it is now off the charts. According to an August poll by the Associated Press NORC Center for Public Affairs Research, 75% of Americans believe Biden should not seek the presidency again, and 69% believe Trump should not. According to their approval ratings, both men are viewed more negatively than positively by Americans, suggesting they are underwater. People disagree about criminal allegations against Trump, 77, who has been indicted 4 times and will go on trial next year, and they believe that Biden, 81, is too elderly. For another 4 years, almost 80% of respondents felt Biden was too elderly to be useful. The Justice Department's decision to arrest Trump for trying to stay in office after Biden defeated him in the 2020 election was supported by roughly half of Americans. Republicans and Democrats are keeping a close eye on the third-party campaigns due to their concerns about their candidates' mediocre popularity ratings. For Trump's triumph over Democrat Hillary Clinton in 2016, many Democrats hold Stein accountable. In a few battleground states, Trump defeated Clinton by the narrowest of margins, and Stein received 1.5 million votes. Democrats believe that if given the option to select between the two major parties, a large number of voters who support progressive environmental activists would have most likely voted for Clinton. The idea that votes can be stolen from the big parties infuriates Stein. A little-known congressman from Minnesota is running against Biden in the Democratic primary in the meanwhile. Democrats, according to Minnesota Representative Dean Phillips, are sleepwalking into disaster by choosing an unpopular president who is the oldest person to assume the position. In a South Carolina interview, Phillips stated, "I'm just saying the quiet part out loud. Everyone else is continuing to line up, shuffle up, take a seat, and do whatever it takes to ensure that you receive the funding for your next election." After withdrawing his Democratic primary challenge to Joe Biden last month, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is now running as an independent. Despite his close family links to the Democratic Party, Kennedy, an environmental lawyer and anti-vaccine campaigner, is more popular with Republicans than with Democrats. Senator Robert F. Kennedy was Kennedy's father, and President John F. Kennedy was his uncle. Kennedy has grown close to far-right personalities and is liked by certain conservatives who share his extreme viewpoints, including as his outspoken disbelief in the efficacy and safety of COVID-19 vaccinations, which have been demonstrated to prevent serious illness and even death. His anti-vaccine group, Children's Health Defense, is suing many news outlets, including the Associated Press, alleging that they broke antitrust laws by exposing false material, including that on the COVID-19 and COVID-19 vaccines. Kennedy is named as one of the group's attorneys in the case, but he left the organization when he declared his candidacy for president. With more than a dozen states having previously granted ballot access, No Labels, a well-funded organization that is setting the foundation for a potential bipartisan ticket, is striving for ballot access in every state. Democrats are growing more concerned about the plan because they believe that it will disproportionately benefit potential Joe Biden supporters, making it easier for Trump to win the presidency again. In the event that the group were to win one or more states, the election might end up going to the House of Representatives because no candidate would have a majority of the Electoral College votes. Little information regarding No Labels' selection process is available. The party had originally intended to release the selection process in October, but it has now slipped to November and doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. Senator Joe Manchin, DWV, declared this month that he will not seek re-election in the upcoming year and instead will tour the nation in order to explore running for president on his own. Concurrently, a fresh faction surfaced advocating for Manchin and Senator Mitt Romney of Utah, the Republican Party's 2012 presidential contender, to contest under the No Labels banner. Chair of the Draft Romney/Manchin Committee, Jennifer Franks, said the group is raising money for polling to see if a bipartisan ticket with the two retiring senators would work, starting in Arizona and Michigan. According to a biography of Romney, written by writer McKay Coppins that was released last month, Romney thought about running for president but gave it up after realizing it would benefit Trump. Manchin declared that if no one steps forward to represent the interests of centrists in the presidential campaign, he will think about entering the race in an effort to energize those who feel excluded from the political system. "I'm not going to be anybody's spoiler," he claims. This month in West Virginia, Manchin told reporters, "I'm not going out there running. My goal is to unite Americans as I venture out there.